Hey everybody, it's Nathaniel Avila I'm reporting from San Antonio today. Who am I here with?
Hey, it's Hanyu.
Hi, how are you?
Doing the thing, existing.
Great. What are we doing today?
I believe we are going over, since we did uh, our own consciousness last time, I believe we should go on to how it screws us up with the Mandela effect.
Right. So, the Mandela effect in psychology is a phenomenon where someone recalls something that did not happen or recalls it differently from the way it actually happened. So, yeah, so we're going to go into the Mandela effect. Ooh. So, these false memories can sometimes be shared by multiple people. Now, in 2010, this phenomenon was dubbed the Mandela effect. By paranormal researcher Fiona Broom, who reported having vivid and detailed memories of news coverage of South African anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. While in fact, Mandela actually died in 2013 after serving as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. Now, Broom reported that perhaps thousands of other people had the same memory of Mandela's death, and speculated that the phenomenon could be evidence of parallel realities. Ooh. So what do you think about that? Is it parallel realities?
It's a possibility. I believe it's a huge possibility that exists.
Really? What makes you say that it's a huge possibility? Why is it huge?
Well, I'm one of those few people that have experienced and seen things a little differently. And some people say yes, and some people says no.
Really? Yeah. Really, like what?
Well, one of the things that's going to be gone over a little later probably is the Bearstein Bears versus the Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
Like, I literally remember it being called the Bearstein Bears, not the Bearstein Bears.
Okay, I think I have a little bit of a memory of that as well, but mainly because I think that's just how people pronounced it, and I thought that, and I couldn't read at the time, so I didn't know the difference between E's and A's. But we'll definitely go into that. So one of these things, a well-documented example of this Mandela effect, comes from the 2010 study that examined people familiar with the clock at Bologna Centrale sub-railway station, which was damaged in the Bologna massacre bombing in August 1980. Now, in the study, 92% of recipients falsely remembered that the clock had remained stopped since the bombing, when in fact the clock was repaired shortly after the attack. And years later, the clock was again stopped and set to the time of the bombing in observance of the commemoration of the bombing. So that's one example. Now, one other example was the one that you just said, which includes the memories of the title of the Berenstain Bears, children's books being spelled Bernstein with an E. So that's a major one. And also the logo of the clothing brand Fruit of the Loom, featuring a cornucopia, which is what I remember. I remember the Fruit of the Loom logo having a cornucopia. Don't you?
Actually, that one, no.
You don't remember?
That one's a no on me.
I remember the cornucopia. You don't remember the cornucopia?
I just remembered just all the fruits just being there.
I also remember all the old commercials in the 2000s where it's like a bunch of guys dressed up as like in fruit costumes, and they're going around being like, "Hey, I'm fruit. Buy underwear."
Oh yeah, I do remember those commercials.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, buy underwear or something." Another big one was the existence of a 1990s movie titled Shazam, starring the comedian Sinbad as the genie. Now, the false memories of Shazam have been explained as a confabulation of real memories, possibly including the comedian wearing a genie-like costume in the TV marathon of Sinbad the Sailor movies in 1994. The 1996 film Kazam, which actually does exist, featuring a genie played by basketball star Shaquille O'Neal, and the late 1960s animated series about a genie called Shazam. So, what do you think about that? Do you think it was just we just got confused?
Weirdly enough, I'm on the fence on both of these because I feel like I remember it as Shazam and not like both of them like exist in my memories, and I'm still trying to figure that one out.
You remember Kazam and Shazam?
Yeah.
Have you watched Shazam starring Sinbad?
Not in a long time. Not probably since it came out.
But it didn't come out. It didn't exist.
Exactly.
How was it?
Like,
was
that's
it good?
the thing. Like, I feel like I remember watching that movie, but then everyone's saying it doesn't exist. So it's one of those, but I can vividly remember watching the movie. Like, it had kids in there, and it was like one of those mystery movie, kind of mystery, like, how did he get his powers, and he's there being a superhero with kids involved. Like, I really actually remember that movie, but I know it doesn't exist.
Oh, I think
I don't know why.
I think you're confusing it with the DC movie Shazam.
No, because the DC movie Shazam, the live action one, didn't come out until way after.
That's true. It came out like a couple years ago. So you remember it when you were younger in the 1990s? Yeah. Was it good? Was it a good movie?
It's a C-list movie in my memory. Like, it was good enough for the time, but not good enough to keep rewatching so many times.
Before it faded out of existence?
Yeah.
Okay. So likewise, false memories of Mandela's death could be explained as a subject of confabulating him with one Steve Biko, who was a prominent anti-apartheid activist who died in prison in 1977. Now, scientists suggest that these are examples of false memories shaped by similar cognitive factors affecting multiple people and families, such as social and cognitive reinforcement of incorrect memories or false news reports and misleading photographs that influence the formation of memories based on them. So, that's that. So let's see what the scientists say about the explanation of the Mandela effect. Ready to hear it?
Of course, science.
Okay, so this is one called the strength hypothesis, which states that in strong situations, like situations where one course of action is encouraged more than any other course of action due to the objective payoff, people are expected to demonstrate rational behavior basing their behavior on objective payoff. Now, current laws present a great example of this. Now, most people, no matter how daring, will conform to the laws of the land because the objective payoff means they receive safety. Then there's the construction hypothesis, which says that if a true piece of information being provided can alter a respondent's answer, then so can a false piece of information. Now, construction hypothesis has major implications for explanations on the malleability of memory. Upon asking a recipient a question that provides the presupposition, the recipient will provide a recall in accordance to the presupposition if accepted to exist in the first place. Now, the recipient will recall the object or detail. And then we have the last one, which is known as the skeleton theory. Now, Loftus developed what some may refer to as this skeleton theory after having run an experiment involving 150 subjects in the University of Washington. Loftus noticed that when a presupposition was one of false information, it could only be explained by the construction hypothesis and not the strength hypothesis. Loftus then stated that the theory needed to be created for complex visual experiences where the construction hypothesis plays a significantly more important role than situational strength. Now, she presented a diagram as a skeleton of this theory, which later became referred to by some as the skeleton theory. Now, the skeleton theory explains the procedure of how memory is recalled, which split into two categories: the acquisition process and the retrieval process. Now, the acquisition process are in three separate steps. First, upon the original encounter, the observer selects a stimulus to focus on. The information of that observer can focus on compared to all of the information occurring in the situation as a whole is very limited. In other words, a lot is going on around us. We only pick up a small portion. This forces the observer to begin by selecting a focal point or focus. Second, our visual perception must be translated into statements and descriptions. The statements represent a collection of concepts and adjectives. They are the link between the event, occurrence, and the recall. Third, which is the perceptions, are subject to many external information being provided before or after the interpretation. This subsequent set of information can reconstruct the memory. Now, retrieval process comes in two steps. First, the memory and imagery are regenerated. This perception is subject to what foci the observer has selected, along with information provided before or after the observation. Second, the linking is initiated by a stimulus response, like painting a picture to make sense of what was observed. This retrieval process results on either an accurate memory or a false memory. So that's basically what they have. What's their explanations are for this effect? What do you think?
It's very interesting. Just the consciousness of it all.
What do you think? Do you think that they're onto something?
They might be, might not. But
What do you mean? Yeah?
I really feel like there's a possibility that sometimes someone just walks into a parallel world that they don't realize is a parallel world, and things happen.
What things happen?
I mean, it just depends. You get a notion, you feel like it, you go back to your regular world, and you think it happens, and it hasn't. Like, my own experience is I have happened to...
Yeah?
I happened to go to a Cracker Barrel,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at some of the stuff there, and the thing is that that Cracker Barrel, I decided not to get something there, and I went like 2 days later, and that stuff that I had initially saw there the first time was nowhere to be found. And when I went to ask about it, the woman looked at me crazy as if that never existed.
Did she say it never existed?
Pretty much she said it did not, it was never there.
Oh. What was it?
They were salt and pepper shakers. It was, it looked like, what was it? I think they were sheep? Either sheep or roosters.
Okay. Do you think you'll ever find them?
Probably not. Probably in that other world.
In the other world that you phased out of?
Probably.
So you're still, really, thinking that it's more on the angle of parallel worlds as opposed to your mind playing tricks on you?
Yeah. I believe it's more parallel worlds than anything. Because, I mean, to an extent, it's kind of like Twilight Zone. There's an episode in the Twilight Zone also where this guy walks into a diner.
Yeah.
And everything is opposite. So if you say no, it means yes. And don't call me means call me.
Okay.
And, like, so when he actually ends up finally getting the hang of it, the person that he can't comes with ends up getting the opposite things of his. Like, he was having a good job, good day, things like that, and then things started calling and saying, pretty much in the opposite terms, you're fired.
Does that mean
And
you're hired?
just his whole day, you know. It was a very weird Twilight Zone episode, or was it Outer Limits? They're similar.
Okay.
It could have been Twilight Zone or Outer Limits. They have similar things that happen.
Yeah. I got a bunch of examples of various Mandela effects, and you can tell me which ones are actually right. The first one here is the peanut butter brand. Is it Jif or Jiffy? What do you think?
See, I have to go with, I remember it being Jiffy instead of Jif.
It's actually Jif.
Well, yeah, it's actually Jif.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I clearly remember it being Jiffy.
Okay. So, in Looney Tunes, is Tunes spelled with 2 O's or 1 U?
My mind says 2 O's.
It was actually spelled Tunes with a U.
Yeah, again. I'm one of those people that is on one side and the other. Like, after, like, hearing about this effect, I did go, you know, just like, what? No. Is it? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It is?
Another one is Curious George's tail. Did he ever have a tail?
The who?
Curious George, the monkey.
Honestly, I don't remember him having a tail.
You're right, he doesn't have a tail. So, okay, so is it Sex and the City or Sex in the City?
I thought it was Sex and the City.
It is Sex and the City, you're right. So, is Febreze spelled with 1 E or 2 E's?
2 E.
It's spelled with 1 E. It's spelled with 1 E. Isn't that something?
It's interesting, yeah.
Okay. Is Oscar Mayer spelled with an A or an E?
A.
It is spelled with an A, you're right. Skechers, is it spelled with a T or no T?
No.
You're right, it's not. There's no T. Fruit Loops, is fruit spelled with like 2 O's? Or just spelled like how it is? Okay. Yep, it is spelled with 2 O's. You're right. In the painting of King Henry VIII, is he holding a turkey leg?
No.
You're right, he's not. You're killing it. The Monopoly Man, does he have a monocle?
I know the true answer to this, but my brain is saying he does, but I know he does not.
You're right, he doesn't. Pikachu, does he? Yeah?
Oh, yeah, let's do the Pikachu one, because that one is also, I know the true answer, and I know what my brain says.
Yeah, the black detailing on his tail, does he have it or not?
My brain says yes, but I know he does not.
You're right. Kit Kat, is there a hyphen in Kit Kat?
No.
You're right, there isn't. What else we got? Cheez-Its. Is there a Z at the end of Cheez-Its?
Yes.
There isn't.
Oh.
It's just called Cheez-It. Double stuff Oreos. Is stuff spelled with 2 F's?
No.
You're right. There isn't. Mona Lisa. Does she have a smile?
It's a smirk.
Okay, that was a bit of a tricky one anyway. C-3PO, does he have a silver leg?
Oh. No. Yes?
He actually does have a silver right leg. Okay, so the Flintstones, is it the Flintstones or the Flintstones?
Flint.
It's just the Flintstones.
Huh.
Alright. Let me see. Oh, chartreuse. Is chartreuse mostly green or is it a pink shade?
Green?
It is green, you're right. A lot of people think it's thing. It's more pink. All right, the Forrest Gump line. Life is like a box of chocolates. Is that the right thing? Is that what it's actually called? Life is like a box of chocolates, or life was like a box of chocolates?
Is like a box of chocolates?
It's life was like a box of chocolates.
Oh.
You probably know this one. Is mirror, mirror on the wall. Was that ever said in Snow White?
Unfortunately, no. But my brain says yes.
Okay.
I know that one's a no.
Yeah.
Like, I actually went to rewatch it when I found that one out. I was like, wait a minute. What? My brain...
Because everyone says that, too. In Star Wars, Darth Vader says, Luke, I am your father, or no, I am your father?
Sorry, what was it again?
In Star Wars, does Darth Vader say, Luke, I am your father, or just, I am your father?
This one's one of those, I swear on everything, I thought it was Luke, I am your father, but I know is I am your father.
Yeah. There's another one that just recently came out from Invincible, that Omni-Man says, think, Mark, think, even though he never says that. He just says, think, Mark.
I don't think I've heard that one, but I don't think I've watched that, so...
It's a good show, you should check it out. It's pretty new. Lord of the Rings, does Gandalf say, run you fools, or fly you fools?
I'm pretty sure he says fly you fools.
That's right. A lot of people think it said fly you fools. So,
Hold on.
What?
You said, what is it?
Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Did he say run you fools or fly you fools?
Okay, so it is fly you fools. It's not run.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. In Silence of the Lambs, does Hannibal Lecter ever say hello, Clarice?
No.
No, he doesn't. He just says good morning.
Yeah, but that's also one of those back and forths, like my mind says, I'm pretty sure you said hello, Clarice, but I know it's not.
Right. In Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, does the song go, It's a Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood? Or It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Or It's a Beautiful Day in This Neighborhood?
The first one, I don't think it's this.
It's actually A Beautiful Day in This Neighborhood.
Oh.
How many states are there?
How many what?
States of America.
Technically, we have more than 50, but some people aren't going to claim Puerto Rico and something else as states.
Yeah, it's just 50. Though some people remember learning there was 51 or 52. Smokey Bear. Is it Smokey Bear or Smokey the Bear?
I thought it was Smokey the Bear.
It's actually just Smokey Bear.
Huh.
Okay. The Tank Man. You've heard of the Tank Man in the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests. Was he ever was he run over and killed, or did they just move around him?
Ran over and killed?
No, they actually never found him. He's actually still alive. We don't know who he is, though, still. All right. Is Neil Armstrong dead? Is another one.
Yes.
He is. He died in 2012. All right. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Was Mother Teresa canonized as a saint?
No.
She was in 2016. Though some people believe she was actually entered sainthood in the 1990s when she was still alive, even though that's kind of not possible. What year did the Challenger explosion happen?
Challenger explosion?
Yeah. Did it happen in 1986 or 1984?
That one I don't know. That would be something not on my top list to understand.
It was in 1986. Let me see. Oh, the Lindbergh baby. Was that case ever solved?
No.
It was solved. They found the killer and they sentenced him to death. All right. Patrick Swayze, did he die? Is he dead?
Yes.
He did die, but a lot of people think he's still alive. Okay. Oh yeah, when did DiCaprio win his first Oscar?
That one's more recently, so 2019?
It was 2016, but yeah, it was a lot of people thought it was a lot earlier than that, a lot earlier than that.
No, he hadn't had one until whatever the one that he had to hide in the bear carcass for.
Yeah.
Movie.
That was the Revenant. The last one is where's the location of the Disney World castle?
Don't know on that one.
Yeah, it was in the entrance to the park of Magic Kingdom. And that's pretty much all of the Mandela effects that I can think of, that I can see. I'm sure there's a bunch more, but those are the main ones. Yeah. So what do you think about this whole Mandela effect thing?
I think it's pretty interesting, and that there's been new things slowly coming out that have been changed here and there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like what stuff has been changed? Oh yeah, like the stuff I mentioned? Yeah.
Yeah, the new stuff that you mentioned, some of that I hadn't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's one of those weird things that makes it interesting that even though a lot of people experience one thing, a few, 1,000 people experience something totally different, and we're at odds for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just interesting when that happens.
Right. So yeah, that's the whole thing. So are you still sticking with your parallel universe theory of the Mandela effect?
Yes.
Okay. You did not. It was not like our mind playing tricks on us. No.
I don't think it's our mind playing tricks on us.
Oh, okay.
I mean, afterwards, then we question our minds if it happened or not. But in the moment that you're actually experiencing it, it's just something that's happening in that moment. You don't question it until someone else tells you that never happened.
Right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it on the Mandela effect. I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I'm Hanyu.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.